Morpheus Zenopia, this is Metrono Ivernan. This is not a regular Let's Play or whatever, but right now we are currently in a game that I have made. And what's so special about this game is the mechanics. Now, I've coded some very groundbreaking mechanics to help gain the player a lot more control on the environment. Because I felt like that the player doesn't have enough power to his control. So basically, I coded a couple of concepts for realism and power to the player. So basically, what the new mechanisms are bobbing. So this was a mechanism I've done in the past, but it's got a more realistic pattern. So now it looks even more realistic because the old bobbing mechanism just used a simple sine wave function, and it provided very unrealistic movement. And now I just slightly tampered with the formula and got myself a more realistic movement right away. So, of course, you don't see any bobbing right now. That's because bobbing only triggers in first person. So if we go to first person, you can now see the bobbing. There's also shift to run, but that's not a revolutionary mechanic. It's just a cheap shift to run. Nothing too special. But I can't jump over this. So, how am I supposed to jump over this? Now, there's a little box over there that looks like it can help me get to the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get close to it, of course. I'm gonna put my mouse over it, press and hold E. And now I have successfully picked up the object. Okay, it's a little bit laggy on the client side, but that's because there's so much work that's being done to take hold of the object. But basically, I'm going to take this object right here, and I'm going to carry it up the stairs and then drop it. So if I want to make it higher, I could just look up, and that will make the box look up with me. And if I want to simply just let it go, I either can let go of E, that will instantly loosen the grip of the box, or if it gets too far from my reach, then it'll automatically lose grip. So that way people can't hold it from an infinite distance. And also, you need to be close enough to it. Like, I'm pressing E right now, and it's not picking it up. But if I get close enough to it, it allows me to pick it up. So, yeah, so this is the grabbing mechanic. This was one of the mechanics that was such a pain in the ass to make. Okay, so now we got up here. We're now up here. And, alright. I'm gonna show you guys one last mechanic. This one was also a pain in the ass to make, but less developers have actually been able to achieve this. And I managed to achieve this and actually improve on it. So I am right now in third person. If I press F, nothing happens, right? Maybe just a slight camera position. But that's not until I move the mouse. So let's move the mouse. So as you can see, the mouse's position on the screen determines where the camera looks. So obviously, the farther away from its center point, the more out it looks. The center point of facing is determined by where the cursor is when you first press F. So I just pressed F, so where my cursor is at right now is the center. So if I were to do this and then go back to this, it restores me to my normal view. But of course, why would you want to do that? Look at that, you can even tilt the world on its side. Pretty insane, huh? But that's not all of this feature. That's not the whole entire thing. So if you were to, while holding F, if you were to scroll up, let's focus on this thing. If you were to scroll in, you basically can zoom in. You can zoom in and get a nicer look of whatever it is you see in the distance. So, obviously this is a spinning thing that is in the distance, and of course if I wanted to zoom out, I can just scroll out. Oh, and when you are in this manipulation mode, you cannot move your character whatsoever. Like, I'm pressing W right now, and I can't move my character. It's only until I let go of F that I can move my character. It's so that way people can't basically walk around with this ability. I don't want it to be too overpowered. I mean, it should bring more power to the player, but not to the point where it's very overpowered and it can be abused. But yeah. But here's another dilemma that can be faced. What if the player is moving and I do this? Now, this was a problem I had to come across when I was, when I finished making the first version of this, camera manipulation prototype, I had the huge issue of it focusing on the player whenever the player was moving by an object like this. So I obviously had to revamp it so that way it would work. So now I'm obviously moving on this thing right here, and now I'm gonna press F. So as you can see, I'm not moving my cursor or anything. I'm not moving it. It is trying to focus on my player. It's trying to focus on the player. So even though it is moving, it is still focusing on the player. The mechanic, beforehand, it wouldn't do this. It would just look at us in a certain, position, look at a certain point, and it would just stay there, regardless if the player was moving or not. But now I've actually managed to make it so that way, it focuses on the player. So that way if the player was moving in, like let's say a car or a train, it would still be able to have a lot of the focus on the player, yet still have the cool features of F, like this. And also, if you were to fully zoom in and just let go of F, it automatically zooms out for you. And what's the nicest thing about all these features is that they work in 60 frames per second. Now, I may have to work a little bit on the pickup feature, because it is a little bit glitchy, probably because of its workload, like the amount of cycles it does to make perfection. But I got to, but like, this is done in 60 frames per second. Now, if you were to do this with a typical wait function for those who develop games out there, you wouldn't get this smooth effect at all. You would actually get half of the smoothness. That's because the wait function can only go up to as much as about 1/30th of a second. Now, this new little function that I figured out goes up to 1/60th of a second. So basically every frame. And this gives us this nice, clean, smooth output, unlike using a wait function. This applies to all the features again, but this one needs to work because it lags. You can see the lag in it. But hopefully I can fix this lag problem soon, and then I will get to probably publish this and let you guys play this for yourself, and even make a tiny little map and where you can do all sorts of fun, cool stuff. But yeah, these were. If you actually want to check the game out for yourself, the link is in the description. You could go ahead and play this for yourself. Again, if you want to pick up objects, you press and hold E. If you want to manipulate the camera, you press and hold F. So, yep. And just scroll to zoom in and out. Of course, there is borders. You can't zoom in past a certain amount, and you can't zoom out past a certain amount. But yeah, but you could But you could also combine F and E together. Like, there you go. I'm combining F and E, and it still works pretty well, actually. It's just that the box has a little bit of a Dutch angle, but still, it works pretty well overall. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was just a little developer showcase. I'm hopefully gonna make this better. So yeah, this is Metrono Ivernan signing out. Bye bye.